Y'all know how the GOP likes to act like they're so family focused. Well, why is it that they block things that will actually help families? The Senate GOP blocks bipartisan bill to expand the child tax credit. Senate Republicans on Thursday blocked a bipartisan bill that would boost a tax credit for parents as the GOP and Democrats feud over remarks from Republican VP nominee Senator J.D. Vance. Senators voted 48 to 44 to advance a bill co-authored by Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon, and Representative Jason Smith, Republican from Missouri, that would have raised the child tax credit and ended the fraud-ridden employee retention tax credit program and reinstated other tax credits for businesses. The bill needed the support of at least 60 senators to overcome Thursday's initial hurdle. Senators Josh Hawley, Rick Scott, and Mark Wayne Mullen were the only Republicans to vote to advance the measure. Senators Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin voted against the measure. Vance and seven other senators missed the vote. After breezing through the House with a wide bipartisan support in January, the Wyden-Smith bill stalled out in the Senate because Republicans feared it could provide a big win for Democrats ahead of the election. Senate Republicans also said the bill did not impose strict enough work requirements for the child tax credit recipients. But in the wake of controversial remarks by Vance, who dismissed Democratic leaders as childless cat ladies, Democrats seized an opportunity to turn the argument against Republicans, putting the child tax credit expansion up for a vote. Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer teed up the bill for a vote before the Senate adjourned last week. Senate Republicans love to talk about how they are the party of family and business, so it's very odd to see them come out so aggressively against expanding the child tax credit and rewarding business with the research and development tax credit, Schumer said on the floor of the chamber. Schumer initially voted for the measure but switched to opposition, which is a procedural move that allows him to call another vote on the bill. Wyden, chair of the Senate Finance Committee, made much of the same argument on Monday. Republicans just haven't been willing, as I said, to actually follow through with their kind of rhetoric. The rhetoric is that they care so much about kids and family, but when you look at what happened in February, in March, in April, in May, in June, you could just go on and on. They haven't been there. Senator Mike Crapo, Idaho, Lord, the top Republican on the Finance Committee, countered that Democrats they have been well aware of the Senate GOP qualms with the bill for months, but made no effort to work out a deal. He accused the Democrats of holding certain business deductions hostage for a cynical political ploy. There is no more obvious show vote than the one today, immediately before the August recess. Democrats set up Thursday's vote in the hopes of fabricating a narrative that Republicans don't support small business, children, or elevating poverty, Crapo said. One would think the Senate Republican request for a Finance Committee markup on this bill would have been well received. Instead, those requests, which began in January, have continued to go ignored, he added. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley told a reporter earlier in the year that passing the bill could make President Biden look good, which could help his reelection campaign and jeopardize the 2017 Trump tax legislation that Republicans want to renew. In a Wednesday statement, Grassley also ripped Democrats for refusing to work with Senate Republicans to address their concern about the scope of the CTC expansion and other qualms. Maybe that's supposed to say and other qualms. Democrats couldn't be bothered with a trivial thing like legislating. After all, they have nominees to confirm, and God forbid we work more than 3 days a week. On the substance of the bills, Republicans have objected to it on the grounds that there aren't enough work requirements attached to the expanded child tax credit and that it could be available to non-Americans, among other concerns. Senator John Thune told The Hill in May that it would take a while for the bill to gain any momentum as far as Republicans were concerned. I think it will take a while for it to get back on track. In the Senate right now, there aren't the votes to move it. But analysts say that political optics for the bill's failure were more important for Democrats in Thursday's vote than policy design, particularly in light of Vance's recent comments that construed Democratic leaders as a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives. The Democrats will then make commercials saying, see, Republicans not only have a vice presidential candidate who talks about cat ladies, but given the opportunity to actually help families with children, they didn't do it. Howard Gleckman, a senior fellow at the Urban Brookings Tax Policy Center, told The Hill. That's the game here. This is just a little bit of congressional theater, a bit of Senate theater. Garrett Watson, senior analyst at the Tax Foundation, said if the tax bill had passed, it would have represented a bigger win for Democrats than Republicans. That is the shared perception, generally speaking, he told The Hill. If Democrats get their child tax credit expansion, as was in this bill, that's going to be the camel's nose under the tent to have more leverage going into next year. Senator Raphael Warnock hammered the point about Republicans voting down the tax cut on the Senate floor on Thursday. Next time that I hear them talking about the need to cut taxes, I'm going to ask my colleagues, how did you vote today? How did you vote when you had an opportunity to provide tax relief for ordinary people? Maybe the issue is not so much tax cuts, as for whom, he said. So keep that in mind as the Republicans continue to drone on and on and on about families. Why is this? This should have been a slam dunk or a home run or whatever they do in hockey. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I post nightmare dating profiles often. The reasons to get off of dating profiles are numerous, but this next article shows you another reason why women should get off of these dating apps. Bumble and Hinge allowed stalkers to pinpoint users' locations down to 2 meters, researchers said. A group of researchers said they found that vulnerabilities in the design of some dating apps, including the popular Bumble and Hinge, allowed malicious users or stalkers to pinpoint the location of their victims down to 2 meters. In a new academic paper, researchers from the Belgian University KU Leuven detailed their findings when they analyzed 15 popular dating apps. Of those, Badoo, Bumble, Grindr, Happen, Hinge, and Healy all had the same vulnerability that could have helped a malicious user identify the near exact location of another user, according to the researchers. While neither of those apps share exact locations when displaying the distance between the users on their profiles, they did use exact locations for the filters feature of the apps. Generally speaking, by using filters, users can tailor their search for a partner based on criteria like age, height, what type of relationship they're looking for, and crucially, distance. To pinpoint the exact location of a target user, the researchers use a novel technique they call oracle trilateration. In general, trilateration, which, for example, is used in GPS, works by using 3 points and measuring their distance relative to the target. This creates 3 circles which intersect at the point where the target is located. Oracle trilateration works slightly differently. The researchers wrote in their paper that the first step for the person who wants to identify their target's location roughly estimates the victim's location. For example, based on the location displayed on the target's profile, then the attacker moves in increments until the oracle indicates that the victim is no longer within proximity, and this for 3 different directions. The attacker now has 3 positions with known exact distance, i.e., the pre-selected proximity distance, and can trilaterate the victim, the researchers wrote. It was somewhat surprising that known issues were still present in these popular apps. Carol Daunt, one of the researchers, told TechCrunch. While this technique doesn't reveal the exact GPS coordinates of the victim, I say 2 meters is close enough to pinpoint the users. The good news is that all the apps that had these issues and that the researchers reached out to have now changed how distance filters work and are not vulnerable to the oracle trilateration technique. The fix, according to the researchers, was to round up the exact coordinates by 3 decimals, making them less precise and accurate. This is approximately an uncertainty of 1 kilometer. Bumble's VP of Global Communications, Gabrielle Ferry, said the company was made aware of these findings in early 2023 and swiftly resolved the issue outlined. Ferry also said the issues were fixed in Badoo, which is owned by Bumble. Dmitry Kononov CTO and co-founder of Hilly, told TechCrunch in a statement that the company received a report on the vulnerability in May 2023 and then did an investigation to assess the researchers' claims. The findings indicated a potential possibility for trilateration. However, in practice, exploiting this for attacks was impossible. This is due to our internal mechanisms designed to protect against spammers and the logic of our search algorithm, Kananov said. Despite this, we engaged in extensive consultations with the authors of the report and collaboratively developed new geocoding algorithms to completely eliminate this type of attack. These new algorithms have been successfully implemented for over a year now. A Hinge spokesperson said the company immediately took action when they received the researchers' report in early 2023. Happen CEO and President Karima bin Abdel Malik told TechCrunch in an email statement that the company was contacted by researchers last year. After review by our chief security officer of the research findings, we had an opportunity to discuss the trilateration method with the researchers. However, Happen has an additional layer of protection beyond just rounding distances, said bin Abdel Malik. This additional protection was not taken into account in their analysis, and we mutually agreed that this extra measure on Happen makes the trilateration technique ineffective. The researchers also found that a malicious person could locate users of Grindr, another popular dating app, to around 111 meters of their exact coordinates. While this is better than the 2 meters that the other apps allowed, it could still be potentially dangerous, according to the researchers. We argue that 111 meters, which is the corresponding distance that goes with this precision, is not sufficient in densely sparse populated areas. Grindr makes it impossible to go below 111 meters because it rounds users' precise locations by 3 decimals. And when they reached out to Grindr, the company said that this was a feature, not a bug, according to the researchers. Kelly Peterson Miranda, Chief Privacy Officer at Grindr, said in our statement that for many of our users, Grindr is their only form of connection to the LGBTQ community, and the proximity Grindr offers this community is paramount in providing the ability to interact with those closest to them. As is the case with many location-based social networks and dating apps, Grindr requires certain location information in order to connect its users with those nearby, Miranda said, adding that users can disable their distance to be displayed if they want. Grindr users are in control of what location information they provide. This story has been updated to include comments from Hinge's and Badu's spokespeople. So just to let y'all know, and the crazy thing is this happened early 2023. We're now in the middle of 2024, and that's when this article is being sent out. It should have been, or I'm thinking maybe users should have been told about this last year sometime, but that's just me. You guys weigh in and let me know what you think about this. But like I said, there are so many reasons to get off of apps, and safety is totally one of these reasons. And the fact that they hid this is another. Y'all chime in. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.